Society calls this cowardice, weakness, lack of personality, but science calls it something entirely different. If you're the type who avoids arguments, who changes the subject when things get heated, who prefers to swallow your pride rather than get into a fight, this video will change everything you thought about yourself. Let me tell you something no one has told you before. Avoiding conflict isn't a lack of courage. It's how your nervous system is calibrated. There's a structure in your brain called the amygdala. It works like a fire alarm. When it detects a threat, shouting, tension, confrontation, it releases cortisol and adrenaline into your body, but in some people, this alarm is more sensitive. It's not a defect. It's different wiring. While some people feel adrenaline and immediately start a fight, you feel overloaded. The brain interprets the conflict as real danger, and it does what any intelligent organism would do. It gets you out of there. Think about it. The world out there is pure chaos. Horns blaring, people shouting, opinions being thrown like stones, arguments that lead nowhere. You don't control the other person's tone of voice. You don't control whether they'll listen to you or just wait their turn to speak. You don't control whether it will snowball. But when you avoid conflict, you regain control. You choose peace instead of the ring. You choose clarity instead of confusion. It's an emotional survival strategy, and it works. And it works. Now comes the part that will surprise you. A study from Harvard University showed something impressive. People who avoid conflict tend to have higher emotional intelligence. That's right. They process more information before acting. They evaluate consequences. They see nuances that other people ignore. While some people are fighting over ego, you're 3 steps ahead, thinking about whether it's really worth it, if it will solve anything, or if it's just noise. And you know what else? These people tend to be more creative, because instead of wasting energy on conflict, they channel it inward, into reflection, to create solutions that no one else has thought of. Look at what social media sells. Attitude, strong personality. I don't take disrespect lying down. As if happiness were measured by how many times you've spoken back to someone. But what if I told you that happiness can be the opposite? A morning without arguments. A silent coffee. A conversation that ends in agreement, not in a slammed door. You don't need to be allowed to be seen. You don't need to fight over everything to have value. Sometimes, the greatest strength lies in knowing when to be silent, when to back down, when to let the other person be right, even if they're not. But be warned. There's a crucial difference here. Avoiding healthy conflict is choosing genuine peace. It's emotional intelligence. But avoiding conflict out of fear, trauma, or the belief that your voice doesn't matter, that's a different story. That's not strategy. It's imprisonment. So ask yourself now, when I avoid conflict, is it because I prefer peace or because I'm afraid to exist? If it's the latter, perhaps it's time to seek help. If you identified with this profile, subscribe to the channel, because here we speak to those who think differently, to those who don't fit the noisy mold they pushed on you. And leave a like too. That helps more people find this content. People who avoid conflict have their rituals. A cup of tea after a long day. A calming playlist. A moment alone before bed where you can finally breathe. These small gestures aren't escapes. They're anchors. Reminders that you don't always need to be on the defensive. So, remember this. You're not broken. You're not weak. You don't need to change to fit in. You just prefer depth over noise. Real connection over drama. And that, my friend, is rare. It's valuable. But let me ask you a question. What if I told you there's an even more misunderstood personality trait than that? One that society considers even more severe, but that science proves to be genius in disguise. The next video will impact you even more than this one. Don't miss it.